Hey guys, my name is Spencer Coffman. Thank you for watching the Deception Tips videos. They're all about teaching you how to read people and detect deception so that you will know if someone is lying to you. Today we are going to talk about a cool behavior that is like a little bit of a hack when it comes to reading people and determining whether or not they are telling the truth. This is something that you can kind of push on someone to have them solicit a response that will tell you whether or not they are being truthful. You're going to kind of probe for a normal reaction, and if that reaction doesn't happen, then that's a red flag for you. So here it is, deception tip number 4. While reciting a rehearsed lie, it is difficult to perform physical tasks such as making coffee. The liar will most likely stand perfectly still with items in hand. So they will stand still. They may be pouring the coffee or putting the water into the pot, and you get asked a question or you ask them a question and they stop. And nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? Well, the reason is because when people lie, there is a lot of mental activity that has to go on. The conscious and the unconscious are fighting over what is going to come out. The unconscious is trying to push the truth. The conscious is trying to get away with a lie or is trying to tell a lie. And now one thing that is important to point out here is it is while reciting a rehearsed lie. So this doesn't mean a spontaneous lie. Like if you ask me, did I like something or do I do something, and I just instantly come up with a lie on the spot, that will not be as effective when someone is doing a physical task. However, if I have rehearsed a lie or planned a lie, or if someone is trying to get away with something, or if like you're asking someone if they took out the trash, or if they did their chores, or whatever, if your son or daughter is emptying the dishwasher and you say, did you do your homework yet? And they stop immediately and think about their response and give it to you, that could be a rehearsed lie and they stopped. Now the reason that people stop when doing these physical tasks is because these physical tasks are somewhat unconscious. Making coffee. Can you make coffee in your sleep? Most of us do. Most people wake up in the morning, they jog down to the coffee pot, they either put in their K-cup or put in the grounds, or sometimes you have it ready the night before and you hit the on button, or it's on a timer, whatever the case may be. A lot of people can do things like that in their sleep. So it's an unconscious behavior. Now the reason that people stop doing this behavior when they lie is because the unconscious is trying so hard to leak some sort of nonverbal or verbal cue so that the truth can come out. Now, unknowingly, stopping this behavior is one of those cues. So you can probe for this. If someone is doing a menial task that is pretty much unconscious, you can start asking them certain questions as to whether or not they did or did not do something. And if they have stopped, or if they pause, or if they have to think about it, that can be a red flag for you. But keep in mind one very important point is that there are some people who cannot work and talk at the same time. These people are the kind that when they're working and they have to tell their story, then all of a sudden they just stop whatever they're doing and they start talking and you're like, boy, why did I ask? Because now they're not going to shut up and nothing's going to get done. Some people can't walk and chew gum at the same time. So if that is the type of person that you're dealing with and they stop making the coffee to answer your question, now that's not a red flag because that's their normal behavior. However, if they continued making the coffee while talking, now that's a deviation from their normal behavior, and that is a red flag. So this is another very important point. Anytime you are looking for deception, you need to find their baseline behavior, and then you find a deviation from that. So if they normally can work and talk at the same time, and then they stop working while they're talking, that is a deviation. However, if they normally cannot work and talk at the same time, but they continue working and talking, that would be a deviation in that circumstance. And keep in mind, it's always important to look for more than one sign. There will always be more than one sign because the unconscious is always trying to leak the truth, and the conscious, while telling a lie, is going to continually tell that lie until it's convinced that someone believes it. I want to thank you for tuning into these videos. They're all about teaching you how to read people and detect deception. I would love it if you subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Throw in any comments if you have any questions. In addition, if you'd like more information, there's a lot of information such as books, ebooks, podcasts, blog posts, all available on spencercoffman.com that are dedicated to teaching you exactly what everybody is saying. Until next time.